Let's talk about the tooling part of it, as you mentioned, right? We have been traditionally using a lot of different tools, Web 2, Web 3 combined, Discord, Twitter, Reddit communities, maybe, to form these sort of DAOs together, right? What was the market need that you saw when you were researching about it, as you mentioned? What was the need in terms of what are the toolings that have been missing? You said you identified about 15 plus problems that currently exist when you talk to DAOs, right? I personally, I know about a lot of tools that are missing. For example, accounting for DAOs, or how these royalties should be redistributed. So, can you talk about what are those aspects which you identified, and what are the tools that DAOlens is building for creating those DAOs as part of your product?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll talk first about how we see the ecosystem, right? Like then I'll come to what we have done so far. But see, for understanding the ecosystem, you really have to spend time into it to get a grasp on it. But long story short, we foresee four bucket areas and four pillars. And this is like me saying it, so someone else could probably classify it into three. That's fine. Someone could say that there is no bucket. That's also fine. But essentially, the first bucket area is how do you discover stuff? Which means out of all the 10,000, 8,000, 5,000 DAOs out there, what am I good at? Where do I belong? Right? Who are the people I should talk to? Now, one pretext to the answer that I'm going to give to you is think of a traditional company. You use a tool like MailChimp, you use a tool like HubSpot, you use a tool like HR management, salary dispersal, you use tools like Gmail, calendar for scheduling, Zoom, and so on. And that is how the company functions, right? Like any company is maybe using 30, 40, 50 tools. If a DAO has to function as a business or a group of people have to coordinate, you maybe need more tools because groups of people have a lot of need around coordination and effective coordination, right? Like, so anything that you see in the Web2 world, if DAOs have to replicate or replace companies, or if they would eventually become a parallel of companies as an alternative way of structuring things, there would be a tool that is existing in the Web2 world, and all of them would find some way or defining or use case very similar to what they do in Web2 in the DAO world as well, right? Like, so with that context, coming to the point of discovery, how do you discover a DAO? Who do you run into? Like, who do you talk to? What are the projects? Hey, I'm a designer. Where can I make money? Right? Like, hey, I'm a designer. I want to learn about stuff. Where do I go learn about stuff? The brilliant part about Web3 is that you can do stuff and you can get paid for it. For example, you write a review on Zomato and you get nothing today. You write a review on Uber, you get nothing today. But there could be a Uber which will, I'm not saying there should be a Uber because people often misinterpret it saying, oh, let's launch a token and let's reward people for adding reviews. But there could be a system if you can come up with a sustainable way of a token working. As you are writing a review, you are adding value to the network. And as you are adding value to the network, because some other rider is going to get some insights into it, let's say Airbnb, you list about your experiences at this place in Portugal, Lisbon, right? Like, and I'm traveling to Lisbon. I find that useful. And maybe because I look at your review, I'm going to also stay at that place. And because of your review, Airbnb got some business. So out of the money that Airbnb is making, it's only fair that you also get paid a little bit, right? Like it's not a bad thing to ask for. And that can be done through the mechanics of tokens. But again, it shouldn't be misinterpreted that every review should be converted into tokens paying you back, right? Like, so again, we digressed a little bit, but coming back to the discovery part of it, where are these avenues for me to earn, right? Like everything around discovery, who are the top contributors? Who are the top DAOs? That is the first problem. And you have a lot of solutions in Web2 world, like think Glassdoor, right? Like what was your experience working for a company? It's listed on Glassdoor. Where is the Glassdoor for something like a DAO or the Web3 world? You have LinkedIn for job searches, right? Like where do I do and something similar for people who are working for DAOs? So that is how I would want you to draw parallels between whatever I mentioned about discovery and whatever is there in the Web2 world. Once you have discovered something comes the idea of onboarding. Now in onboarding, there is an HR who holds your hand. They go in and tell you in a company, hey, Prashant, come here. Here's an elevator. Here is a cab. This is your table. This is the cafeteria. This is your boss. This is your laptop. Great. In a DAO, you are essentially thrown into a digital server. It's like Discord. It's like Slack, it's like Telegram, it's like WhatsApp. You don't know what you're supposed to do. Are you supposed to scroll through all the stuff that has happened in the past to get context? Because there is not going to be an HR who's going to come and say, hey, Prashant, welcome, right? Like, so things around onboarding include, how do you ensure that people really attain success in the first 7 days? How do you define why they are there? You always ask employees, what do you really want to do? There are these managers. How do you do it in a DAO, right? Onboarding also includes sort of like, hey, I'm trying to move from pod A to pod B in the same DAO. How do I do that, right? Like, so all tools and facilitations that come around this bucket is the second pillar for us, right? Like, which is onboarding in my head. The third is, once you have discovered something, you have onboarded yourself in a way where you now know how things work. You are educated with the workings. How do you become an effective contributor? So think Web 2 again. Effective employees, you need better skills, right? Like, how do I upskill yourself in Web 3? How do you upskill yourself in Web 3? Effective employees, they get recognized. How do you reward people? How do you grant them certificates or issue them something as a proof of the contribution they made in Web 3? In Web 2 world, if you were to get paid, you get paid in fiat. In Web 3 world, because you're getting paid in crypto and crypto is volatile, how do I hedge your risk? Right? Like, because how do I tell you, let's say you get paid something like Octopus token, 10 Octopus tokens. Great. How do I redistribute it so that you have a part of Octopus, but you're also not in that stage where if Octopus goes down by 90% tomorrow, you also lose all of your salary by 90%, right? Like, so, or maybe how do I make that 100 into 200, right? Like, where do I reinvest it? That could be made into a tool. Think of proposals, right? Like, you use something like Grammarly in Web 2. In Web 3, there are people who are drafting proposals. Proposals are how things move forward. You could have a Grammarly for writing proposals. And if you have a Grammarly for writing proposals, that's again like $1 billion idea there if DAOs become significant. So, n number of things around contribution management. How do you promote people? How do you coordinate with people, right? Like, everything that happens in Web 2, what would you do in a DAO like setup? And then the fourth pillar, so the three pillars we've talked about is discovery, onboarding, contribution. And the fourth pillar is operations. The operations is where you came and said, hey, legality. Hey, accounting. Hey, I'm trying to structure my company, restructure my company. Should I have 5 sub branches or should I have 1 sub branch? How much should I be paying people? Like, I'm listing this job. What is my salary benchmark, right? Like, should I be having a certain documentation processes in place? Should I be having, how do I find out what DAOs like me are doing in the world and so on, right? Like, how do I onboard people? How do I manage my treasury? Because I have like $1 billion in my treasury and I'm not the expert. Companies have experts of people who reallocate that fund, right? Like, how do you do that? How would a DAO go about doing that? So that's operation, everything around operations. So 4 pillars: discovery, onboarding, contribution, and operations. That's how we see pretty much every problem fitting in into the DAO space. Now, coming to what DAOlens does, we have built 2 products so far, which are live. A third product, which was made live and it's been taken back and it's again being published in a bit. So the first product is onboarding. We simply go talk to all the tools that are there in a DAO, the DAO stack. We bring around relevant information that is sitting in. So if you're a designer and there is an Excel sheet that says these are the open opportunities for a designer, I'm going to pick that row from that Excel or from that native Web3 tool, which is around compensation. Let's say some DAO is using something like Gnosis for paying people. I have insights in there. I can go talk to Gnosis and bring around relevant insights that a new joiner needs to read. So a new joiner shouldn't be really thrown into Discord or Telegram and asked to scroll through stuff. Or like what usually happens is today you have this thing called, hey, click on the emoji to unlock access to the right servers. That is usually what happens in a Discord. And no one really clicks on just one emoji. Like if I see a monkey and a banana, I'm going to click on both of them. And then I have like 200 servers open with me and I'm lost. And then I'm just going to probably mute it. So maybe it would not really be a bad idea to tell a newcomer what the last proposal was. So, which is where I can go talk to your proposal management tool and bring along the latest proposal that was there and show that as a block or as a step to you. And you go through that proposal, you go through what is the open role, you answer a few questions, you connect your wallet, you do some hygiene checkups. If you are holding a lot of tokens or you are already an enthusiast, you hold some NFTs, your NFTs have certain traits, you participated in certain things which give you some flexibilities or which enable you, like which give you or grant you a VIP access. I should be able to define what your role is, right? Like, so that is what we do: gating, onboarding, so that when members are coming in, they're not really lost. They go through our steps and then they unlock server that is fit for them. The journey for a designer needs to be different for that from that of a developer. That's the first thing. The second thing is it's a little complicated, and for people who have never really talked about DAOs, it's going to get a little wobbly. I'll try keeping it simple, but here is how thing works in a DAO, right? Like, so we talked about proposals and discussions. Usually you have something like a Slack or a Discord where people float something. Let's say I say something, I see, oh, Prashant is very enthused about it. He's commenting a lot on it. I ping you. I say, hey, let's hop on a Zoom call. And then we decide that, oh, based on everything that has happened in Slack or Discord so far, it looks like this is something which the community wants to discuss. So the two of us go on and float a proposal on a platform like Discourse, right? Like you put it out, community members can come comment on it. Now, there is a lot of discussion happening there. Again, because the two of us floated it, we'll keep an eye out on signals. And if we feel that the community feels that whatever we have talked about is a legit problem, we are again going to go into Zoom and huddle around what should be the budget, how much do we need to spend if we wanted to really make that product work. And then we would simply come back to the community and float a proposal in a tool called Snapshot. So we did something on Discord, we did something on Zoom, we did something on Discourse, then we did something on Snapshot. Snapshot is where the proposal gets listed and people vote saying yes or no. Once the proposal is accepted, which means most of the community voted yes, then you and I got the money we needed, right? Like, but we still need to deliver on the promise we made. So we need to do it into tasks because we can't do 100 tasks on our own unless we want to. And if it was a big proposal that we wanted to take care of, we'll probably need to rely on the community to help us. So what we are going to do is we got $100. We are going to go in and say, hey, you know what? Someone who writes a Twitter thread on this proposal or manages my social media page is going to get paid $1 per month, right? Like someone who can get this piece of code written is going to get paid $3 per month. And you basically leave out these bounties. Now people come and claim, right? Like they will discover your bounty. They will come and claim it. They will do their own submission. And we and I and you will again review it saying, oh, yes, this is good. This is not good. And then once we have reviewed it, we promise them $1 per month. So we have to pay them. So now there's a lot that happened in this step because the proposal got accepted. There's tasks that got created. Tasks and bounties list on something like Bounty Board. So you maybe use a tool like Trello there. And then from Bounty Board, because the payout is done, you do not have banks. So you pay out people via Gnosis Safe. Discord, Zoom, Discourse, Snapshot, Trello, Gnosis Safe, right? Like all of this happened over different tools. What ends up happening is there is so much of silo that half the context get lost. And then because people can work for multiple DAOs at the same time, if you are working for even two DAOs, you are working on 12 instances of tool. It becomes really messy. So we are simply trying to give that unified interface for a contributor where they don't have to jump between 20 tools. If there's a voting happening, that's happening in the same place. If there is a payout happening, that's happening at the same place. Your bank account is linked to the same place. Your community is talking at the same place. And it's also not noisy at the same time because we don't want to like throw everything in your face. So that's the second tool. We call it contribution management. That has also been made live. The third tool that I talked about, which was made live, which was taken back, is discovery. So we just want a 5-year-old to run into. You go to any DAO's website, you will read all of these terminologies like smart contract, right? Like EIP 101. And then you're like, oh my God, what are these protocols? What frameworks are we talking about? ERC 715. Like you're like, oh my, like it gets really messy. So our goal has been that can we make it easy for a 5-year-old to run into a DAO and understand how they could contribute to the DAO, why the DAO exists, what were the real tangible steps for them to start making money, right? And if that is even a place where they belong. So we do it in a very simple way. We go look at all the DAOs, we do our own research, and then we put a simple one pager saying, hey, this is what the community is about. You know, this is mom giving you lollipops. We really we make it that simple. And then you can decide whether you really want to do it or not. So we took down the discovery tool because we are now adding a whole bunch of new functionalities to it and we'll push it back. So those are the 3 products that we have already made live in some form or the other. On top, there are experiments that we are doing around, okay, someone is getting a grant from a DAO. So usually you can go on and tell our ecosystem saying, hey, I think this is really broken. Just like proposals, it's actually like proposals. You have to make a proposal saying, hey, we need $100,000 to do this, and the community can pay you $100,000, but once they have paid, it's really tough for the community to track what happened to the $100,000, right? Like, so we are working on that direction. We are working on all of these people get paid NFTs. So as opposed to certificates of completion, as you do a course, you get NFTs today, right? Like now NFTs, let's say I get an NFT from someone named Dowlands, and you get an NFT from someone named MetaRoy, and I got an NFT because I worked for 2 hours. You got an NFT because you worked for 20 hours. And both of us are applying to a job. And I apply through my NFT, you apply through your NFT. How is the job person really going to decide which one is a better one? Maybe yours is better because you had to work a lot more, right? Like you earned it with a lot of hard work. But that's not easy to do because you maybe got it from Dowlands on Ethereum. Sorry, I got it from Dowlands on Ethereum. You got it from MetaRoy and Solana. Like, what's really going to happen? So a whole bunch of like how people navigate on that front. Then can I really segment? For example, today you have users, so you can run ads to them. Now in Web3, there are no ads, nothing. But it becomes tricky because if there are 50 people in my community and I wanted to like classify people who are sports enthusiasts and put them in a group, how do I do it? Right? Like, so can we really identify segments of people? That is another experiment which we are conducting. A whole bunch of these smaller ideas, and like there are tons of them which we do in 2 week, 3 week sprints, and then we keep building or like throwing them down the drain if they don't work out. But yeah, that's what Dowlands is all about. Like we just envision ourselves to be a suite of tools, one after the other. And the goal is we want this suite not to be like just a tool. We want it to be an infrastructure, which means as we are building onboarding, it's very important. Infrastructure is a critical term to understand. So as we are building onboarding, we want these blocks to be available as a Lego block, right? Which means I built it, you can use whatever I built, but if you're not happy with it, you could tweak it in whatever way and you could build your own version of onboarding, which means people can build on top of whatever we have exposed. And that would really be a win-win-win for everyone. So we're like, hey, there are these building blocks and you can define whatever infrastructural structure you want to do with it. And that's how we foresee ourselves. But again, all of this suite of tools or comprehensive tools, everything that I talked about, discovery, onboarding, contribution, and operations, everything, hitting all of it is maybe like a 50-year plan. So we take things one step at a time. There is a lot of projects that are coming in, and yeah, that's what Tolerance is all about.
Absolutely. Even I think it's a 50-year plan. It's something your dad also mentioned, right? You should always plan ahead for the next 50 years if this will be a existing need, right? So I think your roadmap, your features look awesome to me personally.